Welcome to the third part of the three-part presentation on changing out the Skylight in a Safari 2000 Continental. This last part has to do with the finishing and what was done to try and obviously make it look a little bit better. So what you can see here is the start of putting up just thin, I think it's 1/8" ply mahogany wood. And it's unstained at this point. It was easy to do on the two sides because they're square and they matched up fairly closely to the rest of where the original fittings were for the motorhome, the original Skylight. However, as you go around, you can see there is an inset on one corner where the shower head is. It's set back from where the edge of the shower stall is, and that was unavoidable because of the size of this Skylight. It was quite a bit larger. So what I did was I made a frame that matched the edge of the Skylight and sloped it forward to the edge of the shower, and that's what you can see here. And if you look closely, you can see that it's by the cuts on the edge there, you can see that there is a grade to the frame. That took a little bit of work to do. It wasn't particularly hard, but it did take something. And then here, they were starting to put together the finished wood over top of the frame. So what I did was I cut the wood, but then I finished it and then put it together and then took it apart numerous times. That's why, and then sanded it. It's a little bit better when it's completed here. Right here you can see it's still being roughly fit together. So it takes a bit of work to get this stuff to line up properly. Then the harder part was on the corner where it goes into a round face on the shower. So there I cut blocks of wood that matched the curve or contour of the shower and set those into the corner. Here then you can see the wood being shaped and formed to go into that corner, and that's done without any screws or anything. So it's cut to work almost like a bow. It's inset, and what's holding it in place here are the edges on the two sides that it's pushing up against, because obviously you want to try and avoid as many of the screws and nails as you can. And here is one of the other corners. You can see where it matches up and doesn't match. Now here it is with the trim added to it. Now I've put this presentation together perhaps a little bit ahead of when it should have been done, because there's another piece of trim that'll go along the top. It's wider, it matches the roofs, the new trim that I put into the roof. You can see that in the other presentation if you like. Now the reason I had to stop at this point was because, you know, the way this stuff works, some other problem came along, which was the power reel started a major problem. So there's a couple pieces I'll show you here that are not completed yet. But you can see here's how it matches up and it looks when it's all completed. You can see the slope and gradient on the line. And what this is that's trim from the roof that I took down before I put the new material up for the trim in the roof. I used a much wider, I guess, molding, and I jointed and the things together and so forth. You can see that in the other video. I think that's on the one with the lights, if you have an interest in that. And here's where it matches up. There's one little tiny piece in a corner that I have to further adjust, and as you can see here. And this one here should probably not show, but here it is. I haven't had a chance to put the other finishing piece in here. And that should be relatively simple. It's just going to take a couple hours to fit and match everything, to bevel it and cut it, take the pieces off, put it together, put it back together, and so forth. But it's doable. It's not that hard to do. Here it is from the outside looking down. Now it's got the Eternabond tape around the seam. That's all screwed down, and then the Eternabond tape and then the die core goes around that. You can see a little bit of moisture inside between the double panes of the dome, and that is normal. That's just where it sweats. It actually has drain holes that goes out, and during the day it clears itself off, and it's just the way it was designed. And I don't mind that, actually. It doesn't bother me at all. So there it is. It's a lot of work. I think it's worth it. It's one of the features of the motorhome, and you know, my wife particularly likes it. It's bright. The only fail I did on this that I think I should have had more insight on was I chose a clear dome. We live in northern British Columbia where it's no sun in the wintertime, and I think I bought this, you know, when it's kind of gloomy, and I was thinking of how it should be bright, and I should have had enough sense to realize that it's great, except if you're in Texas in the summer, you want this thing tinted. And so that was a fail. So I'll probably make like a slide that goes over the inside, that when we're not using it for a shower, it'll just keep out the heat and so forth. But a better way would have been to have gotten the tinted dome, and you can do that. I just didn't do it. So there it is. Thank you.